Welcome back to Animal Crossing New Horizons. I'm dear darling. I shall see what's going on our lovely island of Fawnhallow today. Well, we'll be relaxing as per usual. I'm just recording this quickly before, I'm going to go make some cookies in a moment. What we're going to talk about, I had a pretty good stream, I think. I've also realised I have no backlog for things, so I don't know when I am going to, but I will need to record some 1,000 times for this. I actually completely forgot. But I recorded only 9 souls yesterday, which was a bad mistake. But hello everyone, right now in Fawnhallow, it's 5:50 PM on Sunday, October 5th, 2025. I suppose at worst, the 9 souls episode is just going to come out on Monday. Then on that Monday evening, I will record Patrick's Power Box. That gets me to Tuesday, where I can record everything else normally. I actually just generally completely forgot that I didn't record 1,000 times for this episode yet. I'm doing very bad at keeping up with things. All my recordings, to be honest, but I mean, part of it certainly is because I'm now doing 3 hours on the Sunday for the stream, which is great, by the way. Honestly, I've got a fantastic thumbnail art for it, described by I was gonna say fabled, that's the wrong word, famed commenter MSMX as baddie baiting. Well, not actually described directly as that, but brought up that term, which I've never even heard of before, but it's very funny, conceptually. Like, is that an actual thing? Let's see. Baddie baiting. Baddie bait on TikTok. I guess so. What are some genuine working ways to pull a baddie being an average looking guy? What? That's so... I don't even know what to say to that, to be honest. Anywho, what I was gonna say is... I forgot what I was gonna say now. Yeah, if you haven't seen the stream, you can, I mean, the Twitch VOD is on YouTube. It's basically... it was a bit of a departure from my initial concept, mainly because when we got to the thumbnailing state, because weirdly I planned the outfit first, and I was like, okay, we'll make it like a fun, cute Halloween sort of thing, like very candy focused, like a cute spooky, like a cute ghost sort of thing. But when we came to the actual thumbnail art conception of it, like one of the ideas someone said was like a throne of candy, and I was like, that sounds like a fun idea. And then I came up with, well, I think I did, maybe someone else did, came up with the idea of her like looking down in like a quite a domineering pose, I think, to be like, oh yeah, you're begging the queen of Halloween for candy, trick or treat in my domain, how dare you. And then I was like, okay, well, this like is an absolutely killer idea for a thumbnail art, so I have to absolutely do this. And then I was drawing it, and I was like, okay, I think I had to change at least the aesthetic and the outfit a bit, because it feels a bit weird. So now it's sort of like towing the line of like cute and sexy. But yeah, it should be a fun one, to be honest, to render. Anyway, she's got a very sort of goth aesthetic in it at the end, which I don't know, but people go crazy for like what happened, because I feel like in the past few years it's almost like a meme now, often something like please give me a goth girlfriend or something. It's like a meme. What happened? I'm not saying that goths were unpopular before, but certainly back in the 2000s they were stereotypically less popular high school clique. You know what, know your meme. If I don't know your meme knows. Why does everyone want a goth girlfriend? Is exactly the question I'm asking. History. So I think the goth stuff is very cool. I'm not sure, like, I think I would definitely only dress up in like soft goth sort of things, and I never go that hard into goth aesthetic. But like, what happened? Why is everyone asking for one? As a meme. 2014, Goth Stan posted a mock conversation titled "Me and My Goth Girlfriend." 2016, looking for goth girlfriend with Ed and Eddie Macro. My goth girlfriend just turned into a black and flew away into the night again. What? QE Swazi for parrots. I got Kiwi a little goth girlfriend. What? How did it just even happen? Half goth babies. Hold on. I do remember these parrots actually. This is explained nothing. Why is this even a thing? Okay, do not go on that website. There is a lot of explicit content on there. But yeah, I don't know. It feels like that is just like an ongoing meme. Maybe it's like a out of the loop goth girlfriend. Where's it coming from? I can't even view this because it's apparently not age appropriate. Multiple times in the past week, I've heard people referencing big goth girlfriend. What's going on here? Lately there's been an influx, this is 8 years ago, influx of goth GF memes, mainly on Twitter and Tumblr. Snowballs into something bigger, like this. There's a deleted account, I can't even thank them. Oh yeah, you also heard Imja is banned now in UK. It's like, absolutely crazy. What the heck's going on with us trying to license the damn internet? I hope that helps. I don't even know. Like, I've never questioned it, because, as I said on the stream, you know, I think a lot of aesthetics are very cool, goth included. But part of me was always like in the back of my mind, like, where did half of these memes even come from? Where did it explode out of nowhere? I don't know. People love a goths. More power to it, you know? If anything, it's kind of like a reversal, I feel like, in a lot of the high school cliques, which honestly very toxic way to portray society, but sometimes high school apparently can be like that. I'm not saying mine necessarily was to that extreme extent, but like what Disney Channel would show you about high school is everyone forms these cliques or whatever. And apart from in High School Musical 1, where it's all about cliques finding unity together, everyone's sort of against each other. You get up, there's like what is it? There's like that social ladder. Like theory. High school clique. There was like some social theory which someone did. Oh yeah, modern high school peer crowd hierarchy, is this it? Study details how today's high school cliques compare to yesterday's. Okay. Yeah, you got the populars and jocks at the top. And there's like 2000s hierarchy. Floaters. Sure, good ats. I guess. There's like valedictorians. I mean, fine arts brains. Or like nerds, normals. Stoners. I mean, emo goths at the bottom, anime mangas and loners. You know? What is it now? Is this a now one or is that the old one? This is a modern one. Really? Because the thing I was going to say is like, I feel like nowadays modern things like nerds got a big boost from being near the bottom to somewhere in the middle, right? I don't know if that's actually true. I'm not in high school anymore, so... But you know, goths are also getting that boost upwards. And it's like, what's even happening with the high school cliques right now? I'm not saying that it should even exist in the first place. But there was, I don't know, I think I heard about it in Northern Line, some sort of like weird study behind it. Where would I be on this? I don't know, to be honest. Brains, I guess? I think my description I got most often in high school was like, yeah, you're like one of the cool nerds or something. And I was like, cool, thanks. Anyway, I'm not here to Enneagram. What is going on? Breakfast Club of where? Sociology. Is that it? I don't know. There was some sort of like hierarchy ranking system. Maybe hierarchy is probably a better word, but hierarchy. Adolescent clique. Is this it? How do you spell hierarchy? I'm in my history. Hierarchy. Clique structure. Aggression. Whoa. This is very in-depth and it was absolutely not the detail I was looking for. Cool, pretty cool. What were cliques at your high school? Anyway. So, I don't know where this sort of prevalence of the desire for a goth girlfriend or where it was coming from, but you know, fair enough, I guess. I hope you all find that goth girlfriend of your dreams. But yeah, it's weird to think about because a lot of these high school sort of cliques weren't really very prevalent in my high school, secondary school, should I say. I think probably a big part of the reason is the fact that we weren't allowed, well, we had to wear a school uniform, and we had essentially every part of modification to your visual appearance banned. Like your hair had to be a certain length and it couldn't be in your eyes or whatever. You weren't allowed any piercing, no tattoos. The only facial hair you were allowed is if it was for like a religious reason. You weren't allowed to wear like hats and stuff unless it was also for a religious reason, stuff like that. Like any form of, like, you weren't technically allowed like bracelets and accessories, rings, etc., things like that. Necklaces. People sometimes still wore them, we just hid them. We all had school ties as well, and that was something which people tried to have like a bit of self-expression with. Like it was like, oh, it was cool and popular to have like really short ties or something for a while, and then it was like, okay, your tie needs to be a certain length and needs to actually reach like the lower button on your shirt or like the top of your belt or something like that. Basically any sort of sense of identity stripped away, which, you know, unsurprisingly, perhaps at least a lot of homogenization of the cliques. Much more defined by the actions people take, I suppose, rather than the aesthetics or expression that they have. Is that good or not? I don't know, to be honest. I'm not trained enough to really understand and dive into that any further. But yeah, it's just so when I think about like goths or whatever, like I'm trying to even think, like in university, did I know any people who I'd be like, oh yeah, you're pretty goth-esque? Not really. Like people didn't really form, like there were social groups for sure in university, but people didn't really form much in the sense of cliques. I think mostly people just hung out with their own subjects that people took. Like, I mean, the group of people I hung out with were like maths people, I suppose. If anything, it was more to do with like ethnicities, I suppose. Like people who came from the same country, study abroad, would stick together a lot. Yeah. I'm trying to think what else to even say about it. So yeah, when I think about gothic, goth, I suppose, that fits emo, that sort of aesthetic, I didn't know anyone personally like that. So if anything, it kind of feels like it's more like not like a fictional trope, because it 100% does exist. Obviously, it just like the crowds and the demographics I was in didn't really lead to that. It's just almost strange to think about, because that wasn't like a trope in my secondary school. Like my secondary school, what was it? It was like the nerds or the academics, quote. And then you have like the people who are the sporty people, and then you have like, well, I would hesitate to call them populars because I don't think they were like actually that popular, but pseudo populars. If anything, maybe I'll call them like the lads sort of group. And then I'm trying to think what else. You know, but even then you have like sub-demographics of groups, but none of them were like the stereotypical ones that you see in high school dramas or high school shows in the first place. Which I feel like maybe cements them in my mind, or like these things are fictional things made up for the purposes of high school dramas and high school shows, when probably that's not the case. They actually did exist. But a lot of it, I suppose, gets tempered through the lack of self-expression. And probably, you know, university, there's a lot of people in university. I probably just didn't see the people who actually fit those aesthetics I'm talking about, you know. Yeah. Where am I going with this? I don't really know, to be honest. It's just fascinating, might be the way to put it. Because I feel like the only, growing up, the only goth person I can even remember, I don't even know if I knew anyone who was particularly goth. But honestly, the aesthetic's pretty cool. Which I suppose is, if anything, merely me co-opting it. Again, I don't even really dress that gothic, so I keep saying gothic instead of goth. Because technically that is what it's based off. And that's how you adjectify the word, but this feels wrong to say it like that. I don't know. Style of rock music derived from punk, typically with apocalyptic or mystical lyrics. What does it mean to be goth? There's a whole goth subreddit. Hold on, let's look at this. Are people like, has it like exploded in popularity recently? I mean, a lot of it's based around music. And a lot of subcultures, now I think about it, based around music. I didn't really consider this before. How many subcultures out there are not, how many big subcultures out there are not inspired by goth? No, sorry, not goth, but a music genre of some kind. What the heck is this? Okay, well that's just sad to see, I suppose. That was, wow, that's a crazy hairstyle. Look at that, you know, people out here living their best life. Schwazi, Schwau. How do you even say his name? Or maybe it's Susie Sue, is that maybe how you say it? It's not Schwazi, as like Charisse as I've been reading it. Anyway, on that note, I think I'm going to round this episode up here. So, if you have been watching, thank you very much. It's been Animal Crossing New Horizons. I've been dear darling. Likes, comments, subscription, shares, greatly appreciated. Socials, Discord down below. Hope to see you again, but for now, it's our farewell. So until next time, bye bye for now.